Well, it's still going on. And it's terrible. It really is. I went to the Canton FBI. No, they act stupid. This is where it's phenomenal. See, I actually called the hotline, the FBI hotline. Now, I had just spoke to Will within a day or two of them setting up my wood burner, okay? And it was October 1st. The guy threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle September 21st, 18. Okay? Then the what a shame guy, the threats in the mall with Sarah, the lady impersonating me by what, the 16th or 18th? Hell broke loose within just a few weeks. And then the phone call, the church was taking up money. I had all that happen within like 10 days. And realizing all the attempts in my life was my ex-husband. Okay. So, and his church people. Okay. And I had bruises I couldn't explain. And I was getting sick on drinks before a call. I told you how the guy impersonated a federal officer. He was seen in the house after 4490 John Thomas. He may be on the lease. Or at least the people that rented it would know who he is. That went to pay her the night before and told on me. I had some idiot women tell me to walk by. Well, you called your sister. That's why no one helped you. Well, if you actually listen to the phone call, where I had already called Dixie, someone broke in my house, and I got off the phone the day after I called Will, and if they wouldn't have heard us crying about the threat on my life, they would have killed me. Call my sister. She's like, Karen, you call the FBI on those churches for threatening your life. Okay? So, I told her, I said, Pam, they're crazy. One's already told on me, and the other one had a copy of my phone. The man on the other side of the duplex had copies of my phone. Mocking me outside. I said, and they're mocking me. It's so crazy, I'd have to get a prepaid phone, call you at work. Because one's told on me, and the other ones are mocking me for the notes in my phone. She's like, what? I said, never mind, stay out of this. I told her last year I called the FBI on David and Churches. When did you do that? I said 18. She's like, I didn't realize it. No, she didn't. Because I got off the phone too fast. So, did I ever have to stay quiet while they investigated? Where they're bragging they were stalking me for fugly? Hmm? Where they bragged they drugged me and told me to say whatever, and I gave you the list of it? And where they photoshopped a shower scene and the different departments know about it? And telling on them how they framed me before admitting to framing me? They're that stupid? It's a bunch of drug dealers with a retired judge, looks like a little white Santa Claus. Judge Peter something, friends with Timothy Ludick, and in it with the drug dealers from New York, and it corrupted a couple Portage County sheriffs to help out. Told you, my ex, he was really good to you for a long time. He'd get mad at you, he'd hit you with the over in the face, break your tooth. Went off to the store, met the serial killers. A few days later, my door's knocked in, and we're looking around like, what on earth? Nothing's missing. And Dave's like, do you think some realtor gave out a key? And they let our door fly, so we fixed the hole in the wall. And it was them. Thinking they could stalk me, Photoshop me, ecstasy, drug me, tell me to say something, rush some guy named Chris out of the room, and they could use it. So, did I ever have to stay quiet with the bad guys already knowing, admitting they were watching me, admitting that they had a guy go to pay me before I called Will back? Oh, the local FBI tried to tell me there was no Will. Oh, that's where it's rich. Officer Reinhardt knew him. I knew Will, he retired. Huh? Well, there's two Canton FBI offices. One's a task force and one's a regular. I could have called the task force. You never know. The new office is a new office. But there was a Will. And I called down. And because they had already had a guy tell on me and these people are mocking me, I wanted to make sure Will was legit. So I Googled the Canton FBI. Called him. And they answered Canton FBI. It was right on Google. And it's like, this is Karen. And I said my last name, Karen Hall. I said, Will's working a case for me. I said, my ex was outside talking about putting a hit on my daughter-in-law's life, and they have a list. And she yelled out, Will, he's got a list. I'm working on it. Okay? I called down when I seen the guy. Same number. And Will, she's seen that guy. You tell the police up there to get a hold of this. We're busy. Now, you want to tell... that's okay. I just turned it into the Department of Justice. I called. In last of September, the FBI hotline. They record it. And they'll find out what agent it was assigned to. And where they're bragging that they went to Will and explained to Michelle, and he understood and set it up knowing to help her. And it's funny they're going along with it instead of doing the right thing and help her. It's funny. August 10th or 11th. They think it's funny. Nobody's doing their job. That's okay. You know what? The Department of Justice is going to want to know why, and they're going to pull that phone call from the FBI. Because I called the hotline. Honey. Oh, they're driving by. They drive by everywhere, scream stuff. I'll tell you what, next person shows up and tells me, it's sick the bastards raped you. I'm going to call 911 and say, these people are part of having me raped. And you can start answering to the police for participating. Oh, Judge Pete photoshopped your shower scene. You want to be part of stalking? An attempted extortion? Oh, they drugged her and you want to go part of kidnapping somebody? You want to start going to jail for this shit? I'll start calling the police on you. I was talking to my one friend from the prosecutor's office. I told him, I said, June of 19, Liberty House Sheriff with some of the officers involved were in the back. You know, the worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is bend over properly. We can wipe that one out because they made fun of the back of my knees. Okay? They made a mistake. You made up a case watcher before. You did what to her before? That's funny. She must really like him. Talking on the phone in front of the North Canton Jackson Police. Well, I went to pull out, and where they were telling everybody I was an informant, the nice North Canton Jackson Police went out in traffic and said, the informant's here. Everybody stop traffic. And he waved him down and let me through. The one guy that I know from the prosecutor's office, he said, well, you found a lot of favor with a lot of officers. Well, yeah, I'm a little old lady that laid my life down to save my family, was almost murdered, and it's documented through a state case. He actually opened a state case. Stark County Sheriff's mentioned it at Faith Family Church. Are you interested in working Karen around the house? What's that? One of us have to watch her or listen to her every day. Massillon Police mentioned it. Let's see. Minerva, undercover police. You want to keep going? Hartville. State case. Protected home custody. I'm supposed to be in it. I never had to stay quiet one day. And like the investigators, April 14, 22, it's sick what's going on. They really did have a man pretend he was FBI before she called that agent back. It was a stunt for Dave to confront her on the truck. They had people pretend they were kids, bad-mouthing her, and her kids didn't know anything about it. And it's just been the people hurting her the whole time. It's so sick. Well, no, because the investigators came up to me. Your family really spoke highly of you before, and they said it a lot of different places. Well, even some ladies from the Protected Light case right before Christmas of last year came in, Massillon Walgreens in front of my client. Her family really did speak highly of her before. It's documented. And the other kids are documented liars like the Massillon police. They're documenting me games to pretend they were laughing at because they wanted Fugly to get it. Yeah, Dave's girlfriend, 5'7", 5'10", 300 pounds, and ugly but blonde and young. She's fat and ugly. She's fugly. You know, they were running around saying, she's too ugly for another man and no one would ever want her. I thought they were talking about me. And I'm like, jerks? It was her. We lived outside Ravenna. There's an army base. There's state patrol, sheriffs, regular Ravenna police. There is townsmen, firemen. There's a hospital out of town with doctors and male nurses. Town's packed full of men. And my husband, that would jump any woman, flirted with her. They were so excited they knocked on my door in a few days. Somebody actually wanted her. Then started photoshopping me and drugging me up on their own. I don't get in trouble. And it's not admissible. And they can shove it up their ass. And people need to start pulling that case, because I'll tell you what, the police haven't. I go places, informants here. Somebody, you know, it'd be really nice if some FBI agent actually did their job. I had mentioned that Maslin had it. Oh, we'll be calling them. I said, you need to. I said, I'll tell you what, you pulled that protected home custody case. It's quite eye-opening. I went up to Abigail Watkins, Portage County prosecutor, to report this. A guy came in with a file and said, I'm here for carrying around the house. 2 lady officers walk off with him, and they walk back. Do you know they tried to blame the FBI for this? They walked me out and said, run around telling everyone you know. Hold the FBI accountable for this. People got away with way too much. Blame the FBI for this. They tried to blame Maslin for it. Found that out in May, and I told Maslin about it. Maslin tells everybody I'm innocent of everything. Leave me alone. See, he opened a state case. That's what an officer in uniform mentioned. I was at Faith Family Church. One officer, he's older. He's got whitish blonde hair, a larger nose than. I walked by and he yells. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. I started laughing. Well, I worked in the bookstore and the security office with officers, and the ushers are in there. The officers walk out in uniform. Stark County Sheriff. Are you interested in working carrying around the house? What's that? One of us have to watch her or listen to her every day. They're supposed to protect too. I'm supposed to be in protected home custody. And whose fault is it that Will didn't find out about, if he's not part of it, and he wasn't paid off, and he was grossly negligent, and it wasn't a setup? That he didn't find out somebody impersonated a federal officer. There was a retired judge, and they were framing me and drugging me up before. Whose fault is it? It's his. And it's theirs for not doing their job. It's a big case, like the Stark County Sheriff said. It's a big case. Got a corrupt retired judge, some corrupt sheriffs involved. And some drug dealers from New York doing it on their own. But there is the real protected light case. Had a cop talk to Dave. He was the one in back of CSE Bank. He was the one telling everybody the worst thing I ever did wrong, honey, is bend over and properly. We can wipe that one out. They only me on the back of my knees. Okay? Well, somebody needs to start doing their job.